We go outside, check the furnace, open up the little panel. There's nothing in it. The furnace is empty.
Thankfully, never had to deal with human waste coming out of a shower, but a decoy furnace? I've never even heard of that. Hey, I'm Kona. I'm a realtor in Northern Virginia with Compass. And again, Virginia, this creator said that they're in Florida. So I don't know what's going on down there, but it does not sound good. So obviously watch the whole video because it's insane, but they try to use the sink, human waste comes out of the shower, then they try to turn the heat on, the heat's not working. They don't have a furnace apparently. A decoy furnace is the term that she used. So that's insane. But she's asking like, does she, like, is there anybody she can sue? Like, whatever. Now, what's important is she says that her house was listed as being on public sewer, public water, but she found out that not only is it on septic, but it's like a 30-year-old septic tank that's like crumbling, and that's why the shower is having its issue. This is tough, and I can only speak to it from, again, as a realtor in Virginia, but when we take a listing, like, we are expected to, put in correct information on the listing. But one of the things that we do is we sit down with our client and we do a listing presentation. Then, we're asking them the questions like, okay, do you have like gas heat, or is it electric, or, it's public water, public sewer. And yes, the agent should absolutely do their research. But, we do obviously listen to what the homeowner says because we expect the homeowner to know if it's on septic or public. That's a pretty basic thing, right? I think it's also important for a realtor to check the tax records, because the tax records will absolutely say if it's public water, if it's public sewer, or if it's septic, or, where the heat source is, things like that. That's all in the public tax records, which anybody can look up. And I say that anybody can look it up because, yes, the first person to do that should have been the listing agent so that they could input the correct information into the MLS. But also, as a buyer, you should do your due diligence, or, have your buyer's agent do their due diligence. But somebody on both sides of the equation needs to be looking at the tax records. And listen, the tax records aren't always 100% accurate. Like, for instance, when I was buying my house was listed as having 3.5 bathrooms. It only had 2.5, but the agent had put that in because the tax records said 3.5. But if you find the tax records and there are things that don't make sense, you can just call them. Like, you can call the county and say like, hey, what's the deal with this property? And if it's a septic, you won't be able to find out if they've like gotten septic inspections, if they've been taking care of their septic tank from calling the county or whomever. But you can find out, when the septic tank was put in. You can see that, make sure that the drain field and everything's where it's supposed to be, and make sure that that was all done properly and that it was signed off on, right? Now, in terms of liability, like, it's tough because as long as the agent believed what they were putting in the MLS was the truth, like, it's hard to really get them on anything. I don't know about the sellers just straight up lying. I mean, that's probably something there. But the buyer's agent also should have been taking a look. And like, we can't tell if it's septic or, public. But again, they should have been looking at the tax records. And every tour that I go on, we look at the HVAC system. So it definitely should have been noted that there wasn't one. And beyond that, in this market, you all can still get home inspections, and they can be expensive, but they are worth every single penny, because none of this would have happened.